Hello, everybody, and welcome to the second episode of Breach Charge, brought to you by localhost in Philadelphia. My name is Cole.
My name is Bob.
And I'm Jack Barron. So today we have three fun topics for you. So this will be the first Pro League since Clash and Maverick have been released. So we'll go over that. Some of our thoughts about how they've been doing, how the Pro League is reacting to them. We're also going to go through getting into Siege. So we're going to go from Pro League to those of you who may be new to the game or are thinking about exploring this awesome game. We're going to kind of take you through the ropes of what you need to know before you get in. And then Rainbow Resources will be Ubisoft has released some awesome new things for new players and even experienced players alike. They're really working on curating some awesome material from the community. So we're going to explore that as well. But Bob, our Pro League expert, will be taking us through the Pro League recently. And take it away.
Yeah, absolutely. So today with the Pro League, we're going to be talking about a couple things, but I figured the most important thing when it comes to talking about the Pro League is going to be primarily an introduction to the Pro League, because if you've never watched Pro League, it's very different than playing ranked, it's very different than playing casual, it's very different than anything. If you've ever dabbled and experimented with custom games, that's how probably the closest thing you're going to get to understanding how ranked works. So right here we have some footage of a recent ranked game. We have different clips that we're going to show throughout the game just to kind of ease you in, give you an explanation of what it is that you may be seeing. So if we could pull that open right here. What we have is the game. It happened this past week. It's between One Esports and Pain Gaming. They're two Latin America teams. What we're going to do right now is we're just going to open it up. We're just going to start playing. And what you're going to notice, the first thing is we're going to get into maps. Now, the way that this works in the Pro League is you have map bans. So if you see down here, you have Oregon and Coastline. They're already grayed out. That's because Team 1 and Pain Gaming played those the last time they played. So they can no longer play that. They're going to start banning out maps until they reach the one that they're going to play on. Primarily what we've been seeing a lot of Villa played more than it normally has been, because when that map was first introduced,
It was basically ignored.
yeah,
the
it
whole
really
time.
didn't see a lot. It was banned primarily like the first ban off of every team besides Penta. They were gutsy enough to play it. They practiced it a lot, so people really were afraid to play it against them especially. We're actually seeing a lot less Border and a lot less Oregon, which is really nice. We're starting to see a lot more Coastline and Clubhouse, a little bit of Consulate play in there, some Bank as well, but we're really straying away from that Border Oregon that we see so often. That's not what I want.
That's all right. And I will say as well about the maps as well, I think it is interesting that I think for the first, especially when Villa was first released, there was a lot of like repetition. It felt like every match you were seeing the same, and that's what kind of what you get with Pro League, because there is a kind of a best way of doing something. Like every team has a best map, and some of the maps have been around for longer than others, so they're going to play those first. But I do like how they're saying, whatever map you played before, you can't pick that time to keep you from playing the same map over and over and over again.
Exactly, because the one thing that you started to get a lot, especially in the last Pro League season, was that you start to see every game is played on Oregon.
Yes.
Every match is played on Border. And not to say that, there are plenty of play days where all 5 or 6 games in that play day are on Border or are on Oregon.
Yes, very possible.
But the one really nice thing about Siege that makes it such a unique game is that you have the opportunity to see, 5 games play out on the same map, and they're all different. It could be even the same site, the way that teams play them differently depending on what region they're from. American teams, Latin American teams play very differently than the EU teams do. Even then you get the Korean teams and the Australian teams. They all really play a lot differently. So that's really a nice thing. You get the benefit of the map diversity is actually, there's a purpose for that now. But also it's really not that bad when you get a couple, and even you get a full game, you get 5 days on Border. Well, then next week, no more Border. So if you really don't like Border, then it's good for you then, too, that the way the system works. I love it.
I don't know if you're going to go into it as well, but besides picking a map, you also have the operator phase where you go into and you pick out what operators you want banned. One team picks an attack right here.
So
perfect.
What it is,
there it is.
Basically what they do now is they flip a coin. And one team is going to attack first, the other is going to defend first. The team that's defending first gets to ban the first attacker. It's only fair.
Of course.
Then the attacking team gets to ban the second attacker. And then the attacking team gets to ban the first defender. Only fair. And then the defending team gets to ban a second defender. So they kind of get to see what the other team bans, and they get to pick their ban around that ban. Lion, primarily a ban that you're going to see just about all the time. Honestly, the one thing that surprised me is the lack of Maverick bans, the lack of Clash bans. I mean, and you could say maybe it's not even a lack of those bans, but really the biggest thing to me is that we're not seeing them banned every match.
I would say as well.
People are learning to play it. People are learning to combat it, and they're just not caring. I mean, in this match that we're going to see right now, they banned Lion, Thatcher. I think they ban Amira, and they're going to ban an Echo. So you're not going to see a Clash ban. You're not going to see a Maverick. And as we get farther into the game, you're going to see how that affects the game. Where actually, this is a perfect example, this match, on how to play Clash more than Maverick. But it's going to show you some good ways to counter Maverick. This is really a good match to just learn about the new operators from the new season here.
And I would say as well, we were going in during the pre-show, and we went through the last 12 or so matches, and we went through who was banned, who wasn't. Clash was banned 5 times. Maverick was banned twice, surprisingly twice. And Lion and Mira were almost banned every single game or every single match extremely frequently. And again, I think that kind of speaks to Clash and Maverick's design versus Lion and Mira's design, where Clash and Maverick are, when you look at Lion is clearly a game breaker. Like no matter wherever you are on the map, if you move, you're revealed. And now, granted, when you stop moving, it goes away. Now, to someone like us three, the casual player, that's nice because we don't really know the map that well. We'll probably forget where they are. But when you're playing with these pros who know the maps so well, they know the routes, they know the plays,
and can predict the movement just by knowing where they are. Yeah, exactly.
And so to reveal a team like that, and also if you watch the Pro League, they're constantly moving. Like they are always moving around. Like when we play, and a lot of people play, you do kind of stick in one spot because it's a stressful game. You don't want to run around and get killed. But with the pros, they're always running around. They're always moving. They're always putting up barricades, bringing them down again. So Line is definitely much more effective in that way because he'll reveal everyone. And with Mira as well, Mira's a huge utility character, has a shotgun, can put the mirrors up. So both reveal a lot of information. And with Clash and Maverick, now we're definitely seeing where that is where Ubisoft should focus their design. Maybe revealing information is much more impactful than a shield on defense or another heart breacher. We're very clearly seeing what the pros value as important in taking away from the other team.
Absolutely.
So,
that's why, when Maestro first came out, he had, next to Mira, it was the top ban percentage when he first came out because it's just that information. And
he could do damage while someone's planting.
Yes, exactly. But, that's why you're going to see a lot of Valkyrie bans. You're going to see Echo bans all the time. And Echo, a little bit more than Valkyrie because he has those yokais to do the concussive damage. Exactly.
Two.
But also it's just that added bit of information. Because when you're on defense, all you have are the default cameras. The moment you get any other sort of information on that end, it's incredibly important to have just that tiny bit of information. That one camera in the spot that they don't see will save your whole round in the Pro League. So now what we're going to do is we're going to move on a little bit, and we're going to get into really the point of this game. So in this point, we have 9XT. He's new to Pain Gaming. They just did a bunch of roster changes in the Pro League. And he really stepped up this match. This was unbelievable play. He played Clash every round on defense, and it only ended up going 7 rounds. So, but what we're going to see here is we have the prime example of Clash versus Maverick. We're going to really see what makes those operators special. What we're going to see is really the two stand out. They're going to end up 1v1ing each other at the end of this round. And we're really going to see how it happens here. You have Buck pushing, and he's going to take out. That was the Maestro. But what's going to happen here is we're going to have Clash playing in the garage. She's going to end up taking out a couple people. And Maverick's going to be playing on that site, that little bit of an overhang there, that balcony. There you see him right here. And he's just going to watch this balcony. The diffuser has been put down, and Clash is going to go stick the diffuse. Now, the shield on the back allows her to take no damage. Maverick's going to come up. And now at this point, Maverick has nothing. He has no grenades. He doesn't have anything to push her off that site. His gadget's not going to help at all. He ends up losing the round because of the shield. This really just shows, and I mean, last episode even I said it, I thought that Maverick was going to be infinitely more impactful to the game than Clash is. I think Clash turns the meta on its head tenfold compared to what Maverick does. At least for this first week through the Pro League, what we've seen, that's really what we've been seeing.
And I'll
here.
say the issue with Maverick versus Clash in this, especially in this setting, is, and then we were just playing before the show. Clash is a shield character on defense, so that's already a different mentality when you're playing. And again, they changed the diffuse animation from hitting the box to taking out the diffuser, because with the shield on her back, it defends you, which I think is interesting, because I think in some games, I want to imagine in Call of Duty, you could still get shot in the back with the riot shield.
If you had the riot shield
you
on,
couldn't.
at least from my understanding, that was Modern Warfare 1, 2, 3, that defended
So I'm saying,
back.
that is interesting in that sense, where, now when you're defusing, especially when you're defusing against any other character, it's okay, the minute I start defusing, I'm going to get shot in the head by someone. So usually you need two people to kind of really help with the defuse. Now Clash, if you set it up properly, you might be able to buy yourself those extra 2 to 3 seconds where they're shooting at you, and you can kind of, because again, like if you have played this game even a couple times, these diffuses and plants are the most harrowing parts of it.
Every second is a make or break moment.
Yeah, I mean, it's the minute, because it doesn't take that long to defuse and take that long to plant. So to have a character who can withstand a shot from the back, which is where most shots come from, is going to be a game changer. And not only that, she's an aggressive defender, which is game changing, and can zap people. It's the utility, which is what we're seeing from these bans, is whatever character can do the most is most likely going to get banned.
I mean, her being introduced into the game, just her being there is a huge disruption. Not only if she's being played, people are going to consider that for bans. People are going to put her over maybe Glaz or something, because Glaz has been one of the top banned players for a long time. Not saying it would affect.
No, of course,
because of attacker defending, but maybe another defender or something.
Instead
like
of
that.
Mira, we're going to see a lot more of the Clash ban, or instead of someone who is information gathering, like instead of seeing a Valkyrie ban or a Maestro ban or that Echo ban, maybe we will start seeing more of that Clash ban. I could definitely see coming out.
And especially when, if you think about it, when they do the operator pick ban phase, and when the players pick their teams, the players get to see what the other team picked. And then you get the pick 6 phase where one player gets to switch. And so I think with Clash especially, when you see the other team's loadout, you might go, oh, okay, well, if they're bringing, certain operators, let's bring in Clash. And now the other team has to sit down and go, okay, are they going to bring in a shield operator? Are we prepared to take out this operator? Because it is hard. Clash is very hard to kill. If you ever tried to kill a Monty and a Blitz and you're not that experienced doing it, it is extremely difficult. And so now when the pros are just getting their hands on this new character, if someone has taken the time to learn how to use her, which we're going to see in a bit, it can be a game changer.
Absolutely.
If someone has taken the time to learn her.
Absolutely.
And how to use her.
And that's really the biggest thing. Like Cole touched on, even the fact that she's just in the game with the way that the operator picks and ban systems work. So let's say, Clash makes it through picks and bans. She's available to be played in the game, just like this match that we're seeing in front of us right now. When both teams pick their teams, this is something we didn't get to touch on yet. When both teams pick their teams, both teams are now shown to the other. So, all 5 operators right here up at the top, we see Ash, Maverick, Zofia, a Thermite, and a Dokkaebi. The defense can see the offensive lineup, and the offense can see the defensive lineup. And then we move on to the sixth pick, like Jack touched on, which is the ability that one person on each team can switch their operators, and the other team will not know. It will still show up. It just shows that, but one of them can be different. Just like Cole mentioned now, just the inclusion of that shield on defense, the disruption that causes to the picking, the banning, now even the head games that this plays. I mean, one of the biggest things in Siege, especially if you watch Pro League a lot or if you play at a high level, is head games. That just includes the head games tenfold. I mean, it makes it unbelievably challenging to know what to take, to combat. I mean, I guarantee you we're going to see a lot more Capital play
Yeah.
now.
I was
Yes.
just gonna
Even
mention that.
whether there is whether there's a clash being played or not, I think we're going to see a lot more Capital play.
Because I think a team might have to say, you know, someone be Capital just in case that sixth pick, especially if you're playing someone like you just showed who is extremely good with it, and they pop up and they're not there. You go, okay, well, how do we know they're not six picking into this, and then we're completely unprepared to handle this operator? So again, which I think this is something that the Siege Pro League needs as well. This constant change, you know, this constant, because again, like think about any other real life sport where new players are constantly, you know, drafted and teams adapt to those new players. You know, this is an interesting way of doing that in a video game sense, where we're adding new operators, and now operators that, you know, Capital wasn't immensely used, he was used frequently, but now if Clash is getting picked more, you go, okay, now this operator, let's counter it with this guy, and what change does using Capital more often make? So that's what is a nice dynamic to this game, is by adding in just one person, or especially now two, the whole dynamic of the game changes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And now the one thing we're going to get into here, and this is when Maverick was first announced. You know, people found out what he did, the kind of impact that he would have, and everybody thought, how can you combat Maverick? He seems so unbelievably powerful. It's nearly silent. Well, you look here, this is a spot that people are going to open up all the time. You have Maverick there. It takes time. It's slow. He has to be close. If you can predict that Maverick play, whether your game sense allows you to predict that, or you have a camera, you have that information that Maverick is either on the other side of a wall, or he's up or down a floor trying to burn through something, it's a quick C4 kill. I mean, that's, you know, it's kind of unfortunate that, you know, C4 is the biggest way to kill Maverick. Generally, you'll see C4 as the biggest way to kill like a shield operator or something like that. Now it's the easiest way to kill Maverick, but
And I would say as well, there is the sense, because in that video, Maverick is burning a hole into the ceiling, and the person sees the hole being burned in, throws the C4, and I think that is also another way to counter Maverick, in the sense that if you know it's there, if you know he's there, you know that he's going to burn a hole. He's not gonna, you know, he's not gonna cut a hole like many people thought this could be another thermite. That's not what he is. He's gonna poke a hole in the corner,
and it'll be the tiniest hole. It'll be
Yeah.
an inch by an inch.
but if you
So
look
small.
for it, you will be much better. 'Cause I think just looking for it is a good way of doing it, because I know the most times I've been killed by him are when I'm not thinking about it, and the most times I've been killed playing Maverick is when I do a bad burn somewhere, if I pick a hole that's a little too obvious. And because I think people are learning now, because I think people went in with the mentality of Maverick's going to burn a big hole and come in. Now everyone's realizing, oh no, he's going to be poking up in different places, and maybe I've learned he's usually farther away from the rest of the team. That's how I play him. I play him as a bit more of even a roamer, which is, again, unexpected, but you know, that's the way you have to treat him. Is he's not going to be coming in with thermite and the rest, because he's a piece of paper. Like, if you watch that video, he's blown up immediately. But if you've played him as well, like, if you burn a little hole through a wall, you might get shot immediately and you're dead.
Yep.
Like, he
Yeah.
is paper thin compared to most operators. He will be killed very, very
Yeah,
quickly.
and I mean, I think he's supposed to be played as a stealth character, not only for his hit points, but I mean, like, you're not supposed to be, you know, making a huge hole in the wall. It's meant for a little hole in the corner or side, something like that, so you can stealth your way in, kind of like peek as you go in.
Yeah, I agree.
just
with
open up
yeah.
more of those sight lines.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think it's very similar to Sledge, where if you play Sledge and you're open up all these walls, now
Or even like a buck or something
yeah,
like that as
like
well,
just
to
the
open
act
up those
of
sight
opening
lines.
just opening up sight lines, opening up holes, because that's what causes panic within the defense. Is okay, they're coming from in front of me. Now all these walls are open. They're coming from the left. They're coming from the right. I can't function as a defender. I am now killed. Which is kind of how you have to think about it, as well. Is, you know, where is Maverick probably going to be able to get? Or think about Fuse too. Whereas Fuse isn't going to come from in front of you. He's going to come from above you or to the side of you. So think about that while you're playing it. And same with Maverick. Maverick is not going to be coming from in front of you most of the time. He's going to be behind you. He's going to be above you. So when you're moving as a defender, think about that and say, where would I go if I was Maverick? Where is a key weakness in this room? Or assume that they know the map. Where would they be poking through? A hatch, most likely, in the ceiling. anywhere that a buck can come through, a Maverick might be peeking there,
Mhm,
and that's how you should really
absolutely.
think about it.
And that adds a lot of stress to the situation of defending. Like, it's already stressful enough, and the fact that you have to constantly be looking out for like these little holes in the walls or ceilings, adds that next like level to it.
Yeah, but again, you can also look at it this way, where it's very stressful. But most likely, he is not peeking through random walls. He's
Mhm.
peeking through the site. That's where his goal is to
Yeah.
get to
Yeah.
is the site. So if you're the rook, if you're the dock, and you're anchoring, he's coming for you. He most
Mhm.
likely is going to be coming after you because everyone else is already handling the roamers. So Maverick is just trying to get to the site and set up those peek holes because he knows that's where everyone else is going to be. The defenders
Mhm.
are going to be on the site or doing switches, and even rotations are where he's key. When
Yeah.
people are rotating, that is where Maverick is key, where he will burn a hole. It will just wait for the rotation where people start going from room to room, and that's it. And then once he kills one of you, it is like the movie Predator. Like, it is just running around with your head cut off because you don't know where he is or where he's coming
Absolutely.
from.
Especially
So-
the more holes he has just makes it that much more hectic.
Exactly, and then your bullet holes look like holes, and
Yep.
it is very, it is a mind game, which is the way I think his character is designed.
But I mean, honestly, surprisingly enough, as much as we talk about Maverick and what we think his impact is going to be, we have yet to see that impact in the Pro League. At
I
least
agree,
through
yeah.
this first week. I don't know if it's people not knowing how to play with him properly, people just being able to counter him on defense better than they thought that they were able to counter him. But honestly, the biggest thing that we're seeing here is this Clash pick. I mean, like you saw it right there. That Maverick was the first one to die in the round. He picked off incredibly easily. They essentially predicted exactly where he was going to be, exactly what he was going to do. And I think really, like you were saying, Cole, with the Maverick, you have to try and be stealthy about it. You
Mhm.
can't do where a buck would open up or where a sledge would open up because they're going to be ready for that. They
Yes.
know sledge is always going to open up that spot above that main door in that hallway there. Sledge or a buck is just to cut off rotations, watch that hallway. Why would you take a Maverick there? That's probably the play that, I mean, I would consider that. I don't know if I consider that an error necessarily, but definitely not the smartest play on their end to bring someone like Maverick to a spot like that.
And I would say as well, I think, I don't know, again, we are not Pro League players, so we can only speak so much. But again, when you watch these matches, the attackers especially usually have a game plan where the defenders almost, I think, do best practices. And that's the way you have to look at it. Like an attacker, you have a game plan. You have a route that you are taking. You have, everyone is setting up firing lines, cross lines, and the defenders are almost, again, the reactionary
Exactly. It's
force.
more
So Clash is a very easy operator to react with. Now, to be masterful, difficult, of course, but in the sense of, how do I react as Clash is you plug the hole. Where are they going? You disrupt. And it's very easy. It's much easier to disrupt a plan than to build a plan around a hard breacher that isn't really a hard breacher.
Absolutely. And I
Like-
mean, speaking of, rupturing a plan, what we're going to see right here is 9XT. Once again, 9XT, if you're watching this, my man, you did a phenomenal job. Anybody, if you want to learn how to play Clash, if you want to learn how to play against Clash, you have to watch this match, Team 1 versus Team Pain. What we have here, we're going to show you. They were primarily playing 9XT in blue stairs on the basement. I mean, they played him every single match on defense, but he was primarily holding this blue stairs. And you're going to see here they attack blue stairs. 4 people they attack on blue stairs with. Now, Clash isn't even going to get a single kill. The Clash knows what her job is here, and her job is disruption. And you're going to see right here through the arsenal room, the other defenders are just going to come in and wait. They know Clash is going to go in. They have that whole wall soft. Here we go. Clash is going to draw them out, feeding the information. You have someone coming from stairs, someone coming oil pit. They waste all their resources, killed right through that soft wall, lit up all of them. You can see Clash is still there. They're still trying to get her. The thermite and the round is over. They're so focused on that Clash that they are not paying attention to anything else. They're both going after the Clash. If you see that video right there, they're both going after the Clash.
Well, think about when you're a defender and there's a Monty and a Blitz. Usually it takes 2 people. Like you try and coordinate with a teammate, or if you don't have C4, like it takes effort to take out some of these shield operators. And oh my goodness, throw in an experienced shield operator, then you're really in trouble because they know what they're doing. Like I kind of play shield operators, and even I still make silly mistakes. I look the wrong direction, or I don't really know how much my shield actually covers. But imagine how much effort it would take to take down a pro league shield player and not put down defense. And that's what's happening. And as you saw in that video, it took a team of 2 or 3. And not only that, she's zapping you, and not only that, they're throwing their own flashbangs in there. So now the offense is throwing their own flashbangs, blinding themselves, shooting around, trying to kill this Clash, not realizing there are 3 other people who are
waiting.
Yeah.
I mean, they know that's the thing. If you see a Clash, you have to know that it's not just that Clash. There is going to be somebody else. If there's not 1 people, there's going to be 2 or 3 people holding sight lines, waiting for that Clash to pull you into a room, to kind of catch you with your guard down, maybe run in for the melee on her to try and get the kill, and that's the moment when you're going to get jumped on.
Last night we were playing with Nick, and we realized one of the best moves to do with Clash is you come out with the shield. Everyone looks at you, moves towards you. You go around the corner, take out your gun, come back out.
Because of that lightning fast swap time.
Yeah. And again, because I do it with Monty all the time, is when Monty is in full shield form, your brain kind of, I want to say, relaxes. It's like, okay, he can't shoot me. Then the shield goes down, your brain goes, oh, wait a second, and then you're dead.
Yeah.
And now, but imagine that with much faster.
Mm-hmm.
She just puts it away. And then not only that, her weapon is incredibly fast and deadly. Mm-hmm. And so that's also part of it, is this mental note of when I see a Clash, it isn't a shield operator. It is a lethal character who will take me out if I'm not paying attention.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's the tough thing, too. I mean, you get pushed by a Clash. The moment you start focusing on that Clash, you're going to get killed by somebody else. The moment you focus on somebody that's not the Clash has already swapped her weapons and killed you. It's a very, very challenging thing to go up against a Clash that's experienced, that's communicating, that's using the Clash in the right way. It is so challenging. I mean, that's why we're definitely going to see a lot more Capitao pick. Mm-hmm. That's why I've started playing Capitao a lot more. You're going to have a lot more people playing. If not Capitao, then grenades are going to be coming in.
And I would say as well, Capitao is effective because when you do fire that fire bolt, then Clash is either forced to move slowly through that fire or remove her shield and get out of the situation, which opens her up for getting wasted.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting wrecked.
Yeah.
And so, but again, it's we saw it with Nick last night, who was playing. He was killed by Capitao, I think 2 or 3 times, and
mm-hmm.
we definitely saw that as an effective force against her. But then you also have to think about that's where team coordination comes in. Mm-hmm. There's a Capitao, I'm getting bolted. Other teammate comes in and tries to rectify that situation, give her an out.
Or you could even, as Clash, try and bait. If you see a Capitao, you can instinctively think to yourself, okay, he's going for those asphyxiating bolts. He's not going to try and shoot me. He's not going to come melee me. He's taking his bow and arrow out, and he's going to try and kill me. Mm-hmm. Now, if you have the intel to know that he's alone, the moment he takes his bow and arrow out, you swap your weapon. He's dead.
Yes.
He's not doing anything. But you can also try and bait out those asphyxiating bolts as well. You see him switch, move around a little bit. Try and gauge when he's going to shoot those. Maybe back yourself into a corner to give him the oh man, I got him in the corner now. You back into a corner and then quickly just move out of the way. The bolt's in the corner. You're a mile gone already.
Or as well, think about this way. Even if you are killed, let's say it took 2 bolts to get you, or he wasted the other bolts. Those are resources lost. Those are resources that are not being used on the site, aren't being used against your teammates. And if you are if the other team uses too many resources on you, your team's in a much better position anyway. So also think about that way, that your death is not in vain. If they waste all of their, operators' gadgets on you, then, you are still effective in the sense that now when they come to the real fight, now they are also much less prepared. You have all of your gadgets, you have all of your, barricades up, and, who knows what they use to take you down.
Absolutely.
And now your team is much more prepared. And also, when the firefight happens at Clash and they're shooting at you, everyone knows where you are now. So now your whole team is now running towards you because now they know the shots are firing. So there is a lot more going on than just being a Clash and you're fighting someone. You are doing a lot more than that.
Absolutely. And I mean, really the biggest thing about this game, and that's what we're going to show you with this next clip too, is the more you know how to play a character, the more comfortable you are with playing that character, the easier it's going to be for you to counter that character. Now, we've been talking about him this whole time, 9XT. And now this is after the switch. 9XT is going to be playing Jackal on offense. They're going to be pushing down those blue side stairs. Now we're going to see Team 1 try to mimic what Pain Gaming was doing with that Clash on the blue stairs. And the Clash is going to do something that we did not see 9XT doing, and that was overextend herself. You can see here she's already way up. They're pushing down. Jackal has the information. He knows blue is clear. He pushes right in. That Clash is meant to be played from a distance. You don't want to get too close. You don't want to give yourself up to that melee potential. You have the ability to slow them. If you're slowing an operator with the taser and you're backing up, you're moving at the same speed as that operator. It is virtually impossible for them to catch you if you're backing up while hitting them with the taser, unless they follow enough that the taser runs out and then they could rush you. But by that point, she should have been back in blue, back where 9XT was when he took that 1v4 with everybody shooting through Arsenal. That was just a little bit too much of an overextension on that Clash's fault, kind of led to her being taken out a little bit earlier than she would have liked to. And that's why you see, 9XT, again, watch this match if you want to learn how to play Clash, played it flawlessly. I did not see a single mistake on his part through this. It was textbook learn how to play Clash.
And I would say go for it, please.
Sorry about that. I did see with Jackal, he was being very aggressive, and I think that's what you need to be with Clash. I think you need to be extremely aggressive. You just need to be very aggressive with it. You can't just back off, let her shock you and stuff like that. So you need to get in there.
And Bob has brought up the lovely picture of me and I think this is a perfect segue. Talking about being aggressive with Clash. I think this is something that for new players is learn the operators, learn their weaknesses, learn what works for them, what doesn't work,
exactly,
and really explore the operators, not in the sense of how you use them, but in how you can use your own knowledge of those characters to your advantage when you're playing against them. But Cole, you decide I am clearly your muse. What's going on here? Getting into Siege. I am now a I'm now a PowerPoint.
You are now a PowerPoint. I love the image so much.
Oh, thank you. My mom took it.
I keyed it out. Well, she did a great job. She should be a photographer. I want her at my wedding.
Okay, perfect. Okay. She will be there. I'll also be there. So, hopefully.
The
silence is
maybe.
Me sad.
I mean, next time you say don't drop my armor packs on rogue, I might have to revoke your invitation. But I'm going to be talking about ways new players can get into Rainbow Six Siege, because it does look intimidating, and it could be hard to start out, and maybe you're not into it, but it is a very unique game. It's a very rewarding game, and I think people just need to be pushed in the right direction, and you'll find a lot of enjoyment out of this. So first thing I'll be starting off with is the difference between the starter edition, which is $15, and the standard edition, which is $40. Now that's a pretty big price gap for anybody. I don't like paying more than $30 for a game just because I'm very cheap.
Respect.
But I did get the starter edition like when it first came out. It was a huge mistake, and I didn't know about it, and I'm sure a lot of people don't know about it because on the chart on the right hand side there, you're going to see that they look the same. They both have all game modes and maps. Bob's cutting off the bottom where it says time to unlock operators extended.
Okay, if you look on the poster on the left, it's right there.
Right there, yeah. So it's going to say extended. So what exactly does that mean? So what's going to happen in the starter edition, you're going to get 3 random attack heroes and 3 random defense heroes. So with that, it's going to be for attack, it's going to be either Ash, Thermite, Thatcher, Fuse, or Sledge. It's 3 of those out of those. And then for defending, it's going to be Rook, Mute, Smoke, Capcan, and Jaeger. So it's going to be 6 random ones, and then you're going to get 600 credits to get 2 other people that you want. But other than that, that's all you get, as opposed to the standard where you get all the base operators, not the DLC, just the base. But then after that, it's 12,500 renown per operator. Now you have 14 operators left, and that's going to be 15 hours per operator. So you're already spending a lot of time just to get your base operators that you want to explore into before you have to spend that 25,000 on the DLC.
And I would say as well, obviously the idea that you can buy this game for $15
Mm-hmm.
is incredibly enticing.
Oh,
You know,
yes.
versus buying the $40. There's like a $60.
Yeah.
Like there are
It
many
even goes
additions.
all the way up to like $100.
Yeah, there
Yeah,
are
for the
many-
every
collectors,
operator. Yeah.
Mhm.
There are many editions of this game, and I think it's one of those things where, what do you want from? Are you going to be a big Siege player? If you're a big Siege player, I think it's worth saving up some extra money and
Yeah.
buying a bigger edition, just to because again, it's one of those things where I know I bought the deluxe edition because it was on sale,
Mhm.
and I am glad I did that because I think there is I don't think you want to watch other people playing
Mhm.
these really cool operators and be
Yeah.
like, oh, I have to play for all of this extra time and effort, and I might get tired of the operators I'm using now.
Mhm.
And it's nice to to use Renown, especially when you start seeing people nowadays with all these different skins, because now they've
Oh, yeah.
released skins and outfits, and you see all these people using their Renown to buy those things, and you're sitting there going, oh my goodness, what could I get? Like 12,500 Renown. That's like 3 alpha packs. That's an outfit, like a cool outfit. That's a bunch of skins for your weapons. And it's kind of just like where do you want to put that time? If you're totally fine with just grinding away,
Yeah.
then go for it. I think there's value in that if you want to pay $15 only. But if you want to be like, I want everybody, I want to start getting into this. Look into the 60, like the gold edition, and or even just buying the $60, buying the year 3 pass,
Mhm.
and then working to unlock the year 2 operators.
Yeah, and I mean, with the starter edition, I think it's great for people who don't know if they'll like the game.
Yeah.
Then you're not dropping like 40 or 60 or $70 on the game. Then that way, okay, yeah, I regret getting this, but at least I know that I like it, rather than knowing you don't like it and wasting all that money.
Absolutely. And speaking of that, I mean, the one thing that you should always be looking out for as well is this game's been out for a very long time.
Mhm.
They very often have free weekends on Steam.
Oh yes.
They
They
just had one, yeah.
They very often have sales where you're looking at 50% off, sometimes 75%
Yeah, I got it
off
for
the
60,
game.
50% off. Yep.
Yeah, I got this game for
And I
$7.
mean, although, and that's the thing. You're looking for that starter edition. If you don't care about getting the grind, you don't really care about what operators you get that you play as, you're just looking to get in, have some fun with friends. I mean, you could get the starter edition for anywhere between $5 and $7 when
Yeah.
it goes on sale.
Mhm.
On the flip side to that, you can then get a version of the game with all the operators for like $40 or $50. So really look out. If you've never played the game, there's no need to spend the money if, once a month they're having a free weekend for the
Mhm.
game. I mean, it is unbelievably often that I see that they're doing a free weekend for the game.
Yeah.
The game is almost always on sale. So
Mhm.
really,
And
try
that
it on a free
$40 turns
weekend
into like a $20 game, so you're paying
Exactly.
$5 more than the starter edition would be. So
for all those operators. And that's the
Exactly.
biggest thing. I mean, I'd hate to see people, and I mean, we've had, like you, we've had other friends that have
Mhm.
done it. They get the starter edition, and they're like, holy shit, this is the best game I've ever, this
Mhm.
game is
And
so
then
much fun.
and then there's extra.
And then they're
yeah.
like, oh, well, now I'm screwed because
I have to-
they have to play, or either, I know with like our friends, they've ended up having to buy them with like
Yeah.
spending the amount of money that they would on like 2 versions of the full
Yeah,
game
and I'll
to
talk about that
unlock all
soon.
of the operators.
A good warning would be this game is fun. You may be like, I want to try it,
Mhm.
and if you're even thinking about it, either wait for a free weekend, play it at a friend's house.
Exactly.
But I would not really recommend getting the $15 because on the off chance that you do like it, you now have this extended time investment
Exactly.
that you have to put in or throw money at it.
It's always
you know.
better to waste a little money than waste a bunch of time.
I
so,
agree.
Time is money.
But now let's say
I
you
guess
have.
when playing with video games.
Let's just say
you
you
know.
have now bought the game, Cole.
Yes.
You are now
Okay.
buying Siege.
So
it's
now I
downloading.
bought the game, okay? So the next thing is going to be like, okay, I got the starter edition, okay? So you know what? I'll just buy all the operators, It's 300 credits per operator, so you'll need 4,200 for the rest of the operators for the rest of the 14. So you'll have to get a $35, R6 credit currency pack. So that totals out to $50. So you're already spending $10 more than you would have
Just buying
initially.
buying a different
Just
edition.
buying
yeah.
the standard edition. So that's
and that's
why
not
I'm
even
saying,
every operator in the game.
Well, yeah, that's just the base players. That's not including
That's
DLC
no DLC. There are
characters.
3 years worth of DLC
Yeah.
operators in the game as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, it's realize at what point in this game you're coming in, realize where everyone else is as well. Because again, I think as well, and if you go, I think to the next slide, I think it lists the
Mhm.
beginning operators.
Yep.
Yeah. What operator do I use? And I think this is like one of the weirdest questions that you have to really ask yourself, because now when you come in, teams are based off of these new DLC operators now. So
Yeah.
if you're rolling up with your base operators, they're gonna go, okay, we need a jackal, we need a lion, and you don't have them. But what's also nice though is these base operators. It's not like other games where the base characters now stink because the DLC characters are so good. Most of these characters, if not all of them, are all extremely valuable and always used.
Absolutely.
Like if you have a base, if you are a rook, you are immediately valuable. If you are a doc, you are immediately valuable. So like, don't even think that if you do get the starter edition, that you're going to be a hindrance to your team.
Oh, well, I mean, you're going to look at two of the most played operators in the game. You have Ashe and Jaeger. They're both starter operators. I mean, you're going to see some people would consider them to be two of the most powerful operators in the game. You have Twitch with arguably the best gun in the game being the F2, and she's a starting operator. You have Smoke, who is considered, at least prior to the SMG-11 nerf, I'm not sure what he's considered now post-nerf, but before that he was considered still one of the best, if not the best operator in the game, and he's a starting operator.
He is so good, people were afraid to ban him because the other team wanted to use him.
Exactly.
Like, both teams wanted to use him so badly, neither would ban him. So.
Exactly. I mean, what was his pick rate is like 90-something%. He's almost played in every single match. You're going to see a Smoke played. I mean, that's really the best piece of advice I could give. Pick up any version that comes with all of the starting operators, because some of the DLC operators are going to have all the flashy gear and some flashy gadgets and stuff like that, but these characters are some of the most valuable to a team. And then what you're going to do is pick up the base game with all the base operators and then get that year's worth of DLC.
There you go. Yeah, and I think that's a great way to go about it.
And then what you do is you just farm the years prior. You're going to have to farm at some point unless you're dishing out the cash on the R6 credits. So you may as well pick up the new season. So you're starting from where you're at. You're going to get all the new operators, and then you're also going to have all the base operators to that as well.
And I would say as well, especially with year 3, I feel like year 3 has the more fun ones, like especially the more like interesting ones so far. Whereas year 2 is a bit more, laid back, I think.
Yeah. So here are some of my picks for attackers and defenders. I know I did read off Ubisoft's picks for attackers and defenders, but these are my personal ones. And by all means, you don't have to follow this list, but this is just who I thought would be great to start out. Maybe I would recommend to a friend if they bought the game.
And I would say as well, I think you pick the ones, because I think there are two aspects. I think there is you want to be an effective team member, but also you want to have some fun.
Absolutely.
And like Fuse is one of the most fun operators I think you can play in this game. Like he is, he can definitely cause a lot of chaos on your own end. He's not always effective, but I think his gadget is by far one of the most satisfying to use.
Yeah.
Just because it causes so much destruction and damage, and his character just looks cool. And
whether you're playing on bomb or hostage, it is a good time.
Especially hostage. He
Always
is very,
hostage.
very valuable for you. Don't do that. No, don't do that.
Well, so some of my top picks for defenders obviously would be Rook. I play Rook all the time.
This is true. He does.
He's a key part to a defense team because of that armor pack he lays down. And as soon as you lay that down, right when you spawn in, you're already done. So you could die right after that, and you've done a lot for your team.
Again, something for a newer player who maybe is a bit. I remember when I first started playing, I was nervous. I'd be like, oh no, I'm gonna do something wrong. Because again, it does kind of have that competitive shooter mentality where if you are a hindrance, maybe people do kind of not look down on you, but might get a little frustrated. So Rook is a great character. If I have no idea what I'm doing. Be Rook, put the bag down. You have now no one can complain about you. You have literally done your job. You cannot get in trouble.
Armor, so I mean, basically, what you're doing is you're staying on the site.
For you.
Yeah, you're gonna stay on the site, and you're just going to hold that site. So for attackers, I play Glaz a lot. I love Glaz just because you're far from the action. You can with your scope, which is your ability, you can see through smoke and let's see, smokes like charges.
Yes.
So the yellow
Toxic
smoke,
babes,
the toxic,
yep.
yeah, that. So you're able to see that, and everybody is highlighted in yellow. So you're not gonna accidentally shoot a teammate or something like that.
Or an
And-
alibi or
yeah,
something really
exactly.
helps with
Mhm.
those trickster kind of characters as
Yeah.
well.
But if you're a lot more aggressive, I'd recommend Ash. She's a run and gun Call of Duty-esque type, operator.
Oh man, yes.
Yeah.
Recommend everyone plays Ash already.
Yeah,
More
yeah.
people playing her.
Yeah,
That's
I
what
mean,
we need.
the
But she is
biggest
good.
thing
She is good
that I
character.
see on here that really, I think is a good idea for new players is picking Capcan as a defender. What he can do, he has a couple. I think he maybe has like 4, or might be 5 actually.
Yeah, it's fine.
Little sort of trip mines that you could put on doors. When you start playing the game, what you're going to tend to do is be, at least on defense, you're going to be someone that's going to be a lot more of an anchor player just because you're not going to know the maps. Capcan is a really good character to start to learn the maps. And if it's
Mhm.
not learning the whole map, it's learning at least that little bit of area just outside the bomb site. It's a good way to start learning the map.
Again,
because
Yeah, work out. No, that's all I had to say.
I was gonna say again, it's it's also again I think because hitting both those points is not only is he effective, he's kind of easier because once the gadgets are placed, you don't have to worry about it. It's fun when you get a kill as captain. It's very
Yeah.
satisfying. It pops up with the points. Again, because I think there are always two aspects to starting this game, which is yes, you want to win, you want to be good at it, of course, but have fun too. Like enjoy
Yeah.
yourself, enjoy it with
And
friends.
that's how it should
you
be
know.
when you're first starting.
And
if you're
Capcan-
not playing Pro League, you should still be allowed to have some fun. I mean, even if you're playing Pro League, you
Yeah.
should have some fun. But
I
don't
agree.
take
Yeah.
it too serious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a game. We're playing
If you're
it to
playing
have
on
fun.
casual, this is actually one of the best communities I've been a part of.
Absolutely.
CS:GO is a lot different, but so for situations, not everybody plays them, and for good reason. I mean, they're kind of boring when you know how to
Yes.
play the game.
I agree.
But if you don't, I 3-starred all of these, when I first started playing, and it was a lot of fun, and it taught me a lot on how to play certain characters and learning the maps and the cameras and stuff like that. So what I have here is what I call the LARP system. So learning the operators. A lot of these are going to teach you how to play. Like one is IQ, one's just the basic recruit. But once you 3-star every single one of them, below the 10th one, it's going to say Article 5. And Article 5 is a secret situation where you can play online with other people. And it's pretty cool. It's like a college campus kind of like...
Introduction to terrorist hunt. is
Yeah.
what it is.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah,
It's an introduction to kind of like putting you in an actual environment.
Mhm.
I think the situations are like relatively easy.
Yeah.
It's more about teaching, and the kind of Article 5 kind of throws you into this kind of scary environment with a lot of smoke. It's very hard
Yeah.
to see, and if you can kind of do that effectively, you can definitely make your way into the multiplayer. And I think
Mhm.
as well, you'll have the renown, like you said, you have the extra renown. You can go buy something, buy a skin, buy
Yep.
an alpha pack, and kind of get you into the game.
Mhm.
And so at least when you drop in, you know how to at least use a gadget, how to reload your weapon. At least you also know the hit points. Like if you get
Yeah.
killed by a terrorist in terrorist hunt, very quickly you go, oh, okay, now when I play multiplayer, I can expect this kind of time to kill ratio.
Mhm.
But I do think it's important to play the situations, and to just to at least get the renown, get started, and
It's an easy 6,000 renown.
exactly. It's
you can put that to one of the
operators. Yep.
operators for the DLC. But next thing I'll go over is practice. Practice makes perfect. The more you play these, the better you get, and then you can move on to situations. Excuse me. Sorry, casual and terrorist hunt, like we were talking about. I'd play terrorist hunt for like going over reflexes, getting to know the maps and the cameras and stuff like that, because you're not playing with other people, so it's not as stressful. Same with casual. You got bomb hostage and secure the area. And then, that's basically it for the game modes. But to where we're going to focus on, like what I want people to focus on, and where I think they should focus on is, map knowledge. I've said this a lot during this, and, use your compass. Look at the bottom left-hand corner. It's going to tell you the room name. Wherever you are, it's going to tell you that, so you can do call-outs. Or if somebody calls out saying, they're in kitchen A or something like that, you'll know exactly where that is. Same with cameras, and then make sure to like utilize your abilities. That's extremely important. And then as well as listening, make sure you wear headphones because the headphones are really going to make a difference.
Sound is one of the most important things in this game.
Yeah,
absolutely,
absolutely.
100%.
And I would say if for the MCUL system, I don't know, I have a cool acronym for it, but just make sure you're doing all of those things. Make sure you have at least done all those things once. You check their compass, check the mini map, all that's not mini map. Just check. You checked all your resources. You used your gadget, and you listened to something, and you gave a call out. Do all of those things, and you're set. And Bob has brought up our next topic here, which is we have designated rainbow resources for the sake of alliteration. That was my idea. You know, gotta get that catchy topic name in there. But you know, and the reason why we focused on introducing the Pro League today and introducing the game even itself is because Ubisoft just released about 4 days ago this new part of their site called R6 Academy. Now imagine like a YouTube site, but it's all about Siege material. You know, it's right there at the top. You see top 5 things beginners do too much. And not only that, it goes through a whole bunch of other things. I haven't even gone through all the videos yet. There's 403 now, but they're adding more every day. If you're a Siege content creator, you know, add your on there. You know, add yourself. Breach Charge.
Yep,
We'll try and get.
we'll
We'll try and get on there.
You can submit your own content onto there. So if you are an aspiring Siege YouTuber, and this is less, I would say a little bit less, you know, content-wise, you're not going to see, you know, comedic content on here. It's gonna. This is primarily for learning the game.
Yeah.
I mean, Get Flanked. If you're big into the Siege community on YouTube, you're gonna know Get Flanked. That name is very synonymous with learning to play Siege.
But it's important that Siege Ubisoft is doing this because this is even speaking to kind of the difficulty of the game, not in the sense that it's hard or, you know, like it's like, you know, only certain people can handle it, but they realize that they don't want someone getting tossed into this game and not enjoying themselves, not having fun, having a hard time getting into it. So if someone is considering the game or is trying to get better at it, and especially if you're following Ubisoft, they are really pushing the Pro League now more so than they were a year ago. They have a Siege documentary coming out, and this is, again, like getting people into the game. The more you know about the game, the more exciting the Pro League is to watch, the more exciting it is to play. And so I recommend going through this site. There's operator guides, map guides, beginner's guides, patch updates, and who knows what they'll be adding throughout the time.
And there's content from, you know, ex-pro players on here.
Yeah.
Content from current pro players on here. You know, stuff on how a current pro player would attack a specific map, would defend a specific map.
And they have staff picks too. So this is like, they are really trying to curate this.
I wish I had this when I first started out. This would have been so helpful.
Exactly.
But again, this is like, you know, after you're done listening to your episode of Breach Charge every week, you know, go home and do some homework. And again, this isn't for everyone. If you are a casual player who just likes listening to people talk about this game and just having fun with it, maybe this isn't for you. But, you know, it's at least something that people can go explore. And if you are trying to get better at the game, you know, it wouldn't take you too long to go watch a 10-minute video and just learn what are the 5 things that you shouldn't be doing. You know, and then you might say, I do those things.
I do those things all the time.
There you go. Yeah, and who knows?
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what. I mean, I guarantee you probably at least one of those on there is going to be fortifying between bomb sites.
Yeah.
When I first started playing the game, this was like when the game first came out, so most people really didn't even know to open up between the bomb sites, so everyone was doing that, and that sort of just became like a really bad habit up until probably the year 1 DLC came out and people started really figuring out the game. And then, you know, you were going to have videos like this where it was, don't do that, you know, don't, you know, make sure that you're looking at your compass, make sure that you're looking at the room name on the map, make sure that you're using both your drones. I mean, right there, that's probably what those top 5 are right now.
And the last site to go look at would be right there in the top corner.
Yep.
Is
and this
Siege.
is going to be a little bit more.
This is about more
Pro
intense.
League.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is a bit more intense. And so that last one, if you want to learn how to play the game, explore it, have fun with it, this is your spot. And now, as we talked about, you know, every week now we're going to try and get more into the Pro League. This kind of be how the rest of the show goes, is we're going to go Pro League and then into the more general stuff. And so this is a good format we're going to get into. But Siege GG is where we get our news, among other places. But this is great. If you're just trying to get into the Pro League and really, really explore it, this is the place to go. You know, you want to go here, look at the news. It has statistics. It has operator bannings. It has all of, like, everything you want to know about this game.
Right here. There's a match
Yeah.
going on right now, Space Station Gaming versus Evil Geniuses. I'll probably tune into that immediately when we sign off of this right now.
But if you imagine, like, you might be saying, where's the ESPN for Siege? This is what it is. Like, this is one
it. Yeah.
Yeah, and not only that, you can still go to the Ubisoft site where you can find your own statistics. But
Mhm.
this is the place to go where you can find out the standings, statistics, banning. That's how we found out who's being banned, when
Yep.
and where, what leagues are banning it, the standings. Like, this is a great resource.
They do a great job on this. Siege
It's incredible.
GG.
Yeah.
They're not affiliated with Ubisoft either. They're not affiliated with the game. This is just a bunch of people that love Siege, that love the Pro League, that watch it all the time, and they're just helping people out, helping people like us out, helping people like the Pro League out, like the casters and everything like that.
Mhm.
Just kind of keep some information.
And other than that, I think those are the two best. If you're someone who is just getting into this game, go to R6 Academy, because now that was what it wasn't there 4 days ago, and now it is. So that's now you have no excuse to not go and explore this game because it's all curated for you. And not only that, you have Siege GG. So if you're wondering how the heck does Pro League work, Breach Charge is only once a week, so I want to get my daily dose of all this information right here. But other than that, and Cole's PowerPoint will be on our Facebook page,
Mhm.
Breach Charge NSG. So really kind of explore this game because it is as much fun to play it really as it is to learn about it, because Ubisoft does put a lot of effort into making this game not difficult but rewarding to learn how to play.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, that's going to be it for us today. We talked
Mhm.
about some Pro League. We talked about getting into Siege, some resources for you. We'll be back again next Monday at 7:30. We'll be talking
Same
more
time as
about
usual.
Pro League, more about some intro stuff, some easy stuff. Don't forget also Breach Charge.
NSG.
Uh,
there you go,
just
yeah.
That's all
recently-
our social media.
It is like right below. There you go.
Yeah.
Um,
There we go.
But not only that, and also we have like some fun stuff in the pipeline. We really want to invite people. We created an email just for the show, and that is breachchargeNSG@gmail.com. Send us in your footage. We really want you guys to send it in. We want to look at it, critique it. It might even be on the show. Also, we have giveaways planned, because we were just talking about year 3 passes,
Yep.
what additions to buy, and we'll make that decision for you, because those could be some things that we could give away, among other things. So there is a lot of stuff in the pipeline. This is only episode 2. So you're in at the ground floor for all this cool
Absolutely.
stuff
Yeah.
that's going down the pipeline.
And don't
Just,
forget, just keep watching, keep sharing with your friends. Word of
Mhm.
mouth, that keeps our lights on, lets us continue to make this sort of content for you.
Absolutely. And if you ever want to get into contact with any of us, just go to our Facebook page, our Instagram page, our Twitter page. We have a YouTube page. We're everywhere. So
And
anywhere
we're
you're
very
at, we're
active
at.
with our audience.
Yeah. So and whatever questions you have, we'll answer. Right away. So don't feel awkward.
Just reaching out. Just call us on the phone. Whatever.
Yeah.
Uh,
We'll have a telephone number soon.
yes. But other than that, I think that'll be it for
I
this
think
week.
so.
Absolutely. Thank you
yeah.
for watching.
And we'll
Thank
see you
you.
guys next week.
Bye.